tacrolimus, myocephalin, better known as CellCep. Let's talk. So, the reason I'm showing you these are because these are the anti-rejection meds that I take every day for the rest of my life. So, now, after your transplant is done, they start you on these things. Actually, they give you around right before you go under, so they can start to drop your immune system. And afterwards, you're on a fairly higher dose, and then with time, after you discharge, and you go through your biopsies and blood draws to see if you're rejecting or not, they may lower it, and they like to keep it around a certain number. In my case, mine is between 8 and 10, so mine's has been that way. Now, first of all, good morning. It is Friday. It's February 7th. This week went by quick. A little bit of a long week. Couldn't get too much done this week. I wanted to go to the gym. I didn't really get a chance to do that much except for today. So I did get it in at least once this week. Not extremely happy, but hey, I managed. Can't get it all. It's not all perfect. It's all sunshine and rainbows. Anyway, back to the TAC, back to the CellCep. Again, these are the anti-rejection meds that you'll be taking for the rest of your life. There are substitutes just in case those don't work, because not every med works for everyone. So they do have different types of anti-rejection meds. However, some affect certain organs a little bit more. Now, these meds are hard on the kidneys. So, as I stated before in a previous video, it's important to keep yourself hydrated. Water is pretty much your go-to. If you were a drinker, not saying a heavy drinker because you're not going to be listed, period. So that's another thing, another story. But if you are a type of person like to drink, or you have like that old college habit, you can toss that out the window. If I had a drink, it would be like a glass of wine or maybe a Corona every once in a blue moon, but I'm not a big drinker like that, so they're far and few. It's one of those things like if we had a dinner and I wanted a wine to pair it just because we're out and it's, just wanted something to mix the taste buds up. Hell, I don't even finish the glass of wine half the time anyway. Yep, but it's important because with these meds, especially this Tacro, because they check your blood levels in the beginning weekly, and then it goes to bi-weekly, then it goes to monthly, and eventually it'll go to yearly unless, you're feeling sick or something like that, and they need to start checking them again a little more frequently. So I got to stand in order at the lab, my local lab, so I can get them checked pretty much as I want. But now I only get it checked once a month, especially in this first year, and get that out the way. I probably will start going to every other month, or whatever they tell me. But if it's a standing order, I still kind of check. Plus, it's a good thing to have, so I can check my labs, so I can always keep track of the other organs in my body. So it's a good thing to have, and I think everybody should do that. Everybody get their physical every year, but and not to get sidetracked, I think people should have a physical like every 6 months, to be honest with you, especially the way like cancer's hitting. It's that yearly stuff, usually between your most recent and the next physical, things happen by then. So, every 6 months, I think a person should be checked out. But I digress. But yes, TAC. There's certain things you cannot eat while you're taking your tacrolimus. You cannot eat pomegranate because that could raise your levels and make it extremely toxic, which there's no bueno. Same with, you gotta be careful with pomegranate, blood orange. You gotta be careful also. You really need to read your labels, put it that way. There's certain fruits I can't have that mimic kind of the things of, of the grapefruit as well. So, like star fruit, I used to eat star fruit, but unfortunately I had to stop it because there's things that mimics the grapefruit, which throws off the TAC. Which, I'm not missing grapefruit. I haven't been on it in years anyway, because the previous med I was on pre-transplant, which was the amiodarone, it doesn't allow you to take grapefruit either. So I haven't had a grapefruit in going on 8 years. So yeah, maybe longer than that, because I can't tell you that if I had a grapefruit before I even got on the amiodarone pre-transplant. But anyway, so you can't have stuff like that. So you gotta really watch what you eat. And then on top of that, since your immune system is down with these anti-rejection meds, there's certain things you gotta watch out for. You need to thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly clean your food. As far as your fruits and veggies, wash them 3 times, 5 times, whatever. There's a spray that you get. Spray them, let it sit for a few minutes, and wash them off. They say put on gloves when you wash your food. I do that sometimes, but I thoroughly wash the food, and then I still wash my hands afterwards anyway. So yeah, if you're eating your salads, your greens, all that stuff, you need to wash them anyway, because all the pesticides and stuff like that, the dirt, it's still a lot of dirt for all my black people, especially when the Thanksgiving, them holidays hit, and collard greens and kale, all that stuff is going. You need to make sure those are thoroughly clean. So get all that grit off. So like this past Thanksgiving, I probably cleaned those greens like 4 times. And the funny part is I'm glad I did, because it's amazing the dirt and stuff that's coming off of it. So it's just crazy. And the pesticides. So yeah, I clean them anyway. And I'm nuts when it comes to that anyway. So yeah, fruits and veggies, make sure they're clean. Bean sprouts, try to stay away from them. If they're cooked, that's cool. But raw, no, because they carry a higher risk of bacteria infections too. So you don't want that, because you'll wind up in a hospital, and that's not good either. So yeah, there's some things I can't eat. Like if you go to some Chinese restaurants or whatever, they usually have bean sprouts in there. Like if you get like a shrimp fried rice, some places put them in it, some not. So if you think if you're not used to like a newer Chinese restaurant or something like that, request to say no to bean sprouts. So, but it's a list of things. It looks overwhelming at first, especially when a coordinator's talking to you about these things. And I mean, it's a vomit full of information. And to anybody new to it, it's like I said, it seems very overwhelming. But honestly, when you think about it, some of the things are common sense, like cleaning the vegetables. Everybody should do that anyway. Washing your hands. I hope you're doing that, especially after using the bathroom. But I've seen some people otherwise. Nasty. Also, just to be mindful. And your body's 10 times sensitive, so you're at risk for skin cancer. People of color, you're a little lower risk. But, wear your sunscreen, especially in the summertime. In summertime, SPF 50 is best or higher. But some people do SPF 30, but make sure you're applying it as directed. If it's every couple of hours or so, make sure you put your sunscreen on, which everybody should have sunscreen. Black people don't think shea butter and cocoa butter is going to be your sunscreen all the time. These UV rays hit different now. You can credit that to humanity / global warming. So, also, yeah, you gotta be mindful of the little things. And like I said, there's things that people should really think about anyway, or they've been told before, and they kind of just let that roll off their shoulder because they've been used to doing things their own way for so long. And same here. But it's definitely mandatory. You don't want to be walking around with skin cancer. Last thing you want is you got a transplant, and then 6 months to a year later or so, you got to walk around with a port because you're getting chemo, which is not good for the body anyway. So you want to try to stay away from that. So, since I got my transplant in the summertime, I spent most of my summer in long sleeves and sweats. I got used to it. Not to mention, when you're coming out the hospital, your hemoglobin's low anyways. You're going to be a little cold. So you're going to be outside more than you are in when the AC is running because you're going to be cold. I mean, I literally at night slept with a hoodie and sweats on until my blood levels return to normal as possible. So, but yeah, long sleeves, you get used to it, but it is a protective mechanism. It helps if you make sure you got a hat. I would say get the round hats, the bucket hats, because those are better. They help cover your face and your ears, because if you just wear like a regular baseball cap, your Yankee hat, the face is protected, but there's no shade for the ears and the neck. Keep a towel with you. Sometimes I wear it on my shoulder, sometimes I wear it around my neck. But most of the time that's it. But that's if you don't feel like, if you're not going to be like really outdoors and active. If you're going to be active, say like me for this summer, getting back to running around the track and all that stuff and running outdoors, I will probably have some Nike wear, some, the Cool Flex or whatever. That helps if I decide to go long sleeve. If not, again, back to the SPF 50 or higher. I'll apply that for the time being. It all depends on what I feel. If you're going to the beach, same thing. Make sure you apply the sunscreen, because like I said, this especially makes your skin sensitive. You are sensitive in every way. And sometimes it makes your stomach a little sensitive. I'm fine now. It took a little bit, like the first month or two, but it was a quick adjustment for myself. Now, everybody won't be the same. Some people, it might take a little longer. Some people will be on different doses. I am now on a total of 6 milligrams, so 3 milligrams twice a day. That's what I take. So you gotta take these pills every 12 hours, so pick your time wisely. In the beginning, you're probably gonna start off what most people would be between 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So 9 in the morning, take it again, 9 in the evening. Now, once you get past your first year, you can switch up your schedule, but it is important to stay consistent. So don't take these pills at 9 and then turn around and then take the pill at 12 midnight, or don't take the pill at 9 and then don't take it again until the following day, unless you're directed by your doctor. If the transplant team tells you to hold your med, then you hold that. And usually they do when they are doing your lab work, when they want to check your TAC levels. So that's when you hold your pill. But as soon as you did your blood draw, you go ahead and take your med. And then you take it again back at your normal time. So, but yeah, every 12 hours, on time. A few minutes late, that's fine. You're not going to be made, but you cannot be taking it 2 hours later on a regular, because that's going to land you in the hospital. That's going to cause your body to reject your organ. And I'm sorry, if you reject a kidney, that's not good, but you stand a better chance of living. If you reject a heart or lungs, there's no coming back from that. So people who got the heart transplants, definitely obey. Go for it. Go. You can try if you want to, and you mess around and find out. It's YouTube, people. You can't actually say curse words. So, but it's one of those things, like I said, I bring to you a little bit of factual information, a little bit of education. Some of the things I go through everyday life, the things I had to adjust to, and now it's repetition. Before, I used to have to look at this list of drugs and see what time I take them and what box I put them in. You got your pill box and all that stuff. And I had to stare at the list. I mean, the list looked like this. And the markings I got on here are what I've been told when I had to decrease my meds. Or discontinue the meds, because some of those meds you will discontinue. They're just there for a short time. And then it got to the point where now I know which meds to take in the evening, how many, whatever. And it looks like a lot in the beginning, and it is a lot of pills in the beginning, but they trickle down, I promise you. So, I had like 8-10 pill bottles or something like that in the beginning, and so now I got like just about 4, and it all depends. One of the things of having a heart transplant is you will be on blood pressure meds. Some people end up getting off of it eventually. That all depends, and that takes into account of how your heart's doing, how your body's doing, also your diet. Make sure you're eating well, no salty foods, no sugary foods, far as processed and all that. Try to stay with them, keep it moderate. If you eat with salt, cook with salt, but don't add any additional afterwards. So, and if you're cooking with salt, sea salt is better. Do not cook with iodized salt. No one should cook with it, but sea salt is the best. But I do not add any salt afterwards. So if you want your food seasoned, season it then, and then cook it. So, and if it ain't seasoned to your best to tasting, deal with it. So, or don't eat it. But again, it's not that bad. It was, once I got that wealth of information, and once I started applying it, it's just, again, it's as natural, it's as easy as breathing at this point. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Some of these pills, like I said, they can turn your stomach a little bit. There are the side effects here and there, which thank goodness I haven't really experienced any side effects. The only thing they had to really change, because they gave me magnesium oxide. And so that was killing my stomach, which dehydrates you, because if going to the bathroom doing number 2 a lot and it's liquid, you're going to dehydrate it, and that's another thing. You get dehydrated, that throws your TAC levels off, and it can send them high, and you can get it, and you'll know your levels off because you'll get what is called a TAC headache. And I promise you, it is not like a normal headache. Normal headaches, you might feel it in here. An attack headache, you might not feel it standing up, but when you sit down, an attack headache hits here. And it is annoying. And you know that's when your attack level's up. And I experienced it the first time, and then the next day I went to go get my blood drawn, and then I got my results back later on that evening. It takes a minute, and the attack levels were high. So they had to switch me from mag oxide to mag chloride, which is much better and much easier on my stomach. And also, like I said, you go through your other things, the other meds, but you got your steroids and stuff. Also, you got pills for swelling in the beginning because your hands and feet might be swollen, and they'll give you Lasix. Some people, like me, Lasix did not work, so they had to switch me over to a pill called Bumex, which is a water pill. It makes you pee like nobody's business, but it gets the fluid off, and eventually you'll be off that. And they want you to be at a certain weight, unless if you're over that weight better be muscle and not predominantly fat. But other than that, that's pretty much what I had to say, especially about the tacrolimus. That's the most important anti-rejection medicine. You can't go without it. If you're traveling, make sure you have more than enough to go with you. Honestly, it's smart just to carry all your pill bottles, but make sure, if you can, and depending on your insurance, make sure you got a fresh refill before you travel, especially if you're traveling out the country. Make sure you got it. Make sure you have it in a storage that is room temperature like. You don't want to have it too hot or too cold, because that will cause your pills to be ineffective and cause some of the pills to basically crumble easy in dust. So you don't want those problems. But yeah, some people, they're on Medicaid. There's certain rules about that where you can only get the pills filled at a certain time, every 30 days, every 90 days, and you can't get it done 15 days before the actual 30th day. It has to be, or you can't get it no longer 15 days, so you have to wait till you're midway through before you can get a refill. So if your vacation happens to fall right before that, sometimes they can override it, sometimes it can't. So if you are planning a vacation, and if you can try to plan it where the point where you can either have a fresh refill, or you already had that fresh refill, depending on how long you're gone, and to the point where you can come back, you still have meds and get your new refill. So, and also keep your numbers meaning your pharmacies, your transplant coordinators, just in case they need to send you something, airmail overnight, whatever you got to do to make sure you're taken care of. So keep the numbers stored in your phone, keep a hard copy, keep a mental note, learn those numbers, learn your team, because they are with you for life. But some knowledge I wanted to drop on you, some things that I go through every day. But again, it gets better. The pills become less, the appointments become less, the days get easier, you get stronger, and life goes on. You get to live your life. It's telling you, you're gonna be good at the end of the day. I promise. And that's how it is with me. And I, very, very grateful for these meds. I'm not a big person that likes to take meds. If I could find a natural way, that's me, I would definitely do it. If I could do it through plants, I would definitely go through it. But in this case, it's going to be a combination, buddy. So I'm going to take what I have to take to keep this heart going and my body from rejecting it. But for the most part, taking care of your body on the regular, still eat well, eat fresh vegetables, your fresh fruits, keep your amount of protein. I highly suggest plant protein, because the meat, you can have your meat for the protein. It's just now your body's going to be more sensitive to things. And like I said, at risk of cancers, melanoma, skin cancer. I would definitely cut down. If you were a big meat eater, I would cut down. Fish will be good. It's better as opposed to red meat and pork. I don't mess with that. So, and I think, again, the oils too. Try to stay away from the oils as much as possible. If you use your oil, try to do avocado and or olive oil. As far as the canola oil, butter, vegetable oil, stay away from those. Grapeseed's not bad. But if you can avoid the oil, some people can avoid the oil altogether. But try to cook your foods by way of grill, bake, or steamed as much as you can. Fried foods, keep it to a minimum. And you'll be just fine. Because another thing that I forgot to mention, your cholesterol is extra sensitive, and is when you get out of transplant, you will be on a cholesterol pill. Because some people don't. I am for now, until everything normalizes fully. You might be on a cholesterol pill, just to make sure you keep the pipes clean. You want no clogged arteries, and you just got this heart. You don't want no clogged up coronary artery for sure. You don't want that disease. And so that's why I say grilled, baked, steamed, broil. Air fry is not bad. Yeah, try to do it that way as much as you can. You can't always avoid fried foods, but unless you just completely cut it out. And people got that type of willpower, more power to them. I'm having a little fried food every once in a while. I definitely had it when I first came home, even though I had no taste buds. But it was fried food, it was grilled food, it was steamed food, it was any food I could think of, even though I couldn't taste it right away. And that's because I was in the hospital for 2 months before I got my new heart, and I had to eat the hospital food. So yeah, I went on a binge when I got home because I haven't had regular food. But that leveled out. So I have my cheat days now, and that's what it's going to be. But other than that, it's predominantly healthy. But all right, let me hop off. Just wanted to give that quick tidbit, and I'm out. Peace.